Yeah. Are you putting not no answers? Self-reflection. I love that. Good. Getting the right people on my team. Lovely. Go on, go on. You see, I love to reflect a lot. Being more focused. Lovely. Being more intentional. Good. Being more intentional. Yeah, oftentimes we set goals and then we kind of just, think they will just happen. No, we have to be intentional about it. That is awesome. Asking for help. You guys are an amazing, amazing bunch. Improving on your third UN language. Okay, Ogechi. Yeah, beautiful. I'm so glad to hear from you guys. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to go into what we're having today. So today is a question and answer day. And I said, ask me anything. And people have asked me anything. I've seen questions, even, let me exaggerate a bit, like, what happens in heaven? Because I said, ask me anything. Nobody asked that, by the way. I'm just saying that people have really asked me anything. So for those of you who sent your questions in, I'm really glad you did. And as much as possible, we will be covering those questions. This program is in celebration of the International Women's Day. And sometimes I've had people say to me, you know, they see all the people who have achieved certain things to the glory of God, but there's no access. They cannot get to them. They just follow them from afar and all that. And that's why I decided today that, yes, some of the things I have learned and also just researching and also trying to find out from other people, I will share with you. So it's like giving you access to whatever I know. My legacy is to empower people. So that's what we're doing today. I'll be answering a lot of your questions, maybe not everything. But then, oh, Kerry, thank you for giving you access. Oh, yes, you're my person. So that's what we're doing today. A lot of the questions, we'll take them around, funding, work-life balance, starting a business, sustaining your business and all that. But and what I want to share with you quickly is something that we hardly think about. And I'm glad that's what I'm sharing with you today. Because very few people asked about it. One or two people asked questions that were in line with it. Very few, but I will refer to it when I get to the questions. Very few people understand it. But our topic today, let me share my screen. Our topic today, uh, okay. So our topic today, we're looking at the International Women's Day. So basically, I need to move this here. Good. So this is what we're doing today. The theme of the International Women's Day was accelerating action as women. It was looking at it in vis-a-vis the male-dominated careers and all that. But the key point for me is acceleration towards success. Because if it's male dominated, whatever domination, we all want to succeed. And that's what we're looking at today. Now, in building a success, there's something we overlook a lot. And as I said, I didn't see much questions around. I didn't see enough questions around branding. You remember who you are first. So we're going to answer all your questions. Don't fret. But I cannot do anything without doing a little bit of training first. So, in building, accelerating success, this is what we overlook. Because before Kehinde Wani, becomes whatever to the glory of God she has become today, before Ibukwawashika, before Tara Durotoye, before anybody, you put your name there. Before you become whatever you've been able to achieve today, as far as you've been able to achieve today, there was first you. So let's start with this. Can anybody identify these brands? Anybody put in the chat? Can you identify these brands? Yeah, anybody? Netflix. I want Netflix binger. Binging on Netflix. Apple, UBA, good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Microsoft, you are so good. Before these are brands, these are companies that have become brands. But we forget that individuals too become brands. Who are these, by the way? Who are these people? Who are they? Yeah? Who are they? Who are they? Dr. Wani, thank you, Tika. Who are they? We don't know who they are. Ladies, let's wake up. Michelle Obama, Dr. Wani, we don't know who the men are. Tony Elumelu, fantastic. Yeah, Richard Branson, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, how did you know who these people are? Don't worry, for Kaide one is because you know me, because I'm the one that arranged this. But for these other global brands, I didn't need to put Michelle's name there. I didn't need to put Richard's name there. I didn't need to put Tony Elumelu's name there. So as companies become brands, individuals must become brands. You must understand that you are a brand. Can you say that to yourself? I am a brand. I am a brand. Please unmute for a minute. We're not too many. Say it. I am a brand.
I am a brand.
I am a brand.
Absolutely.
I am a brand.
I am a brand.
I'm a brand.
I am a brand.
I am a brand.
You know, and we neglect this. And I'll give you instances. For me, for example, for a long time, I was building my company. And then a lot of people would know about Meadow Hall. But I would go to functions and I introduce myself, CEO Meadow Hall. People at that time would ask me, oh, are you the owner or you're the head teacher? I'm like, no, I'm the founder. They were like, wow, I thought it was somebody much older. You know, so people knew my company, but they didn't know me. Because, again, I didn't have this understanding of personal brand. There was another situation that happened till today. You know, it's good to always share, not just the good things, regrets as well. We had a program years ago. It was maybe our 10th anniversary or something. This is where almost 25 now. And we invited this top person in the country. Top. She actually used to be a minister. Now, when we invited her, I didn't see myself as, honestly, I think it was 15 years of Meadow. I just, you know, we had a committee. They said, okay, let's try and get this person. And then I knew she was going to speak somewhere that a program that I was attending, I was speaking. So I got a letter ready for her and sent the letter and saw her and gave her a letter. But around that same time was a major birthday for me, that the day we're going to have around the time I was having a major birthday, and then I decided I wasn't going to attend the program. I was fatigued from planning for that major birthday. So I did not attend the program, even though I'd given this ex-minister an invite. Of course, she was very upset. What also upset her was I didn't even reach out. Do you know why I made that mistake? I didn't think, honestly, and I'm not just trying to be like humble. I just did not think she would even realize I wasn't there. I just thought it was a school program. I had other people there. My board members were there, top people. Honestly, I thought I just could not, I did not realize. Then later on we spoke, and I then told her I wasn't feeling so well. She said, but we should even have communicated that she came because she had researched about me. I was there at that program. She researched, and that's why she came. And I was not there. Till today, I always regret that moment. Why? Because I never saw myself as a brand. I thought, yeah, Meadow Hall is there. All the top people are there. How does it matter that I'm not there? It's not about me. It was a program that she was going to speak. I am a brand. I say this because, I am passionate about two things, education and leadership. And so my leadership is through education. I say to teachers most of the time, you are a brand. Teachers forget. They forget. And then you find parents say, I don't want my child in that teacher's class because you're a brand. I am a brand. Can we unmute one more time and declare, I am a brand. I am a brand. Then if I put your name, Kehinde Wani, you are a brand.
I am a brand.
Oluwatoyin Alebiosu, I am a brand.
Katie Eze, I am a brand.
Lovely. And that's
a brand.
You are a brand for me, Ke. You say, a lot of us, we forget. And we think we're just part of the company. But your reputation follows you. We are brands. So, what's your brand? I'm asking you right now, what is your brand? You are a brand, right? What's your brand? And before you answer that question, do me a favor, my people. Do me a favor. Put in the chat, when you hear Kehinde Wani, what comes to your mind? I'm also trying to do some, check-ins here. What comes to your mind when you hear Kehinde Wani? What comes to mind? Yeah, go on, put it. Meadow Hall, yeah. What comes to mind? What comes to mind? Kehinde Wani, what comes to mind? Only one person, transformational leader, wise woman, succession planning, leadership. Good. Any other person? It's a good question. Not only those who know me, is what comes to my mind. Thank you. Smart, bold, intelligent, passionate, consistency, excellence. Thank you. Exquisite leader. Go on. An agent of change. Thank you for that. Lovely. God-fearing. Someone said LPSS. Drive for excellence. Leader and mother. Smart business tycoon. Lovely. Go-getter. Lovely. Amazing. Thank you very much. Leadership, change agent, mentorship. Lovely. Amazing. Thank you so much. Very kind-hearted. Thank you, darling. Right. Lovely. I'm so glad. Because I'll tell you an activity that you need to do. So now it's your turn. It's your turn. And I want you, I want you to write down on a sheet or your phone or whatever. What's your brand? I've said you should declare I'm a brand. And my question is, what's your brand? When people hear your name, Olufumike, Tega, Essay, all the people that I know here, what comes to their mind? As I have said, people have said leadership, change agent, God-fearing, the businesses I run. What else? A lot of things have been said. Now, I want you to ask yourself, if your name is mentioned anywhere, not well of knowledge, thank you, innovator, selfless, peaceful, mentor. I've heard all those things. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. So what comes to mind? And I'm going to call a few of you to share. What comes to your mind? If your name was to be mentioned anywhere, it's not only people that know you. Branding is not those who know you. It is how you're perceived, and I'll talk about that later. What do you think comes to people's minds? Can you please put in the chat? Kerry Dill, values agent, education, leadership. Fantastic. Someone says driven, education. Go on, go on. What comes to mind? Early years education. Lovely. What else comes to mind? Anybody? Go on, go on, go on. I only have like 10 minutes to go do this. Wise, motivating, confident, educator and mother. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Awesome. Hardworking, gentle. Fumike, yeah. Self-motivated HR. Lovely. Beautiful. Now, I've read it out, so I'm going to skip that. So you know what you're going to do for me right now? Let us see if Google agrees with you. That's what I did yesterday. I chat GPT'd my name. In fact, not all, I first said, who is Kaidewani? Then I said, what is Kaidewani's personal brand? I want you to go to chat right now or Google. I hope nobody's still using Google like that. Ask, what is the personal brand? If your name is not there or you are not, you see whatever is not in line, that means there is a lot of work to do. There is a lot of work to do. Google your name. Just in case chat doesn't know you yet. Google your name. What does it say? Is it in line with those words you use for yourself? And I'm going to ask one or two people to share. Google your name, and is it in line with what you put down? I don't want to put anybody on the spot. It's a very relaxed kind of program, but Uche, AJ Fobiri, hey, Father, don't, I'm half Igbo, but I still modern Igbo names. Get ready to share. Tega, you're a branding person. Get ready to share. What do you assume is the perception about you, and what did chat or Google say? Tega, let me start with you, and Uche, you will talk as well. I need to hurry. Honestly, we're running out of time. I'm just started. Tega, please go ahead.
Okay, so I already answered in the chat. I said I can already answer. It's not in line. So there's nothing
It's
on
not
Google.
in
So I
line.
know, no, it's not in line.
And you just shared one thing and what you thought and what chat said, just for, for that we're real.
Okay, so many people around me call me a helper, right?
Yep.
And I'm
Including
always
myself.
connecting, like I'm always quick to connect people,
Yep.
hardworking.
Yep.
And there's nothing like that anywhere on the world wide web that relates to
What does
me.
it say?
I
Anything?
have too much work to do on that. So that's just in my head. It's not known anywhere else. It's just me.
Example. Perfect example. Yesterday, when I went to chat, I was asking about my personal brand. I was honestly, you should have seen how I was looking. I wanted to see which part would be missed if godliness is not there, if leadership is not there, if education is not there, if mentorship is not there, if empowerment and the glory of God. In fact, Princess, I think I sent it to you to my chat, my response from.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if I asked you to put it up onto my slides, but if it's there, I will show people. Okay, beautiful. Uche, do you want to speak quickly so we can move on?
Yes, ma. Good evening, ma.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you, ma. I also try to, I haven't done this before, like try to.
Praise God.
Think, nothing is coming up, ma. And just like my sister said, there's a lot of work to be
you can
done.
See. And that's what I saw when I saw the questions. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do we accelerate success when nobody knows who you are? Awesome. Thank you for those answers. Now, key takeaways. Even when you say that nothing came up, and all that, and or what came up is not who you are. The truth is, you already have a personal brand, intentionally or not. Because maybe the World Wide Web doesn't know you yet because you have not done enough to be out there. But people around you, everybody has a brand. Whether you have intentionally crafted it or not. But it's not something we focus on at all. So the objective of this training basically is so that participants will understand how to build a compelling personal and professional brand. that positions you and I for success. It increases our credibility and attracts new opportunities in business and career. We do not understand that your personal brand is the foundation for your professional brand. It is your personal brand serves your professional brand. So it's something that you must be conscious in crafting. Okay, you said it's on page 14. Let me just quickly look at that. Is it okay? I'll go back to this. I don't want to be distracted. All right. So now, what is a personal and professional brand? What is it about? Your personal brand, my sisters and gentlemen here, is your unique identity and your reputation. Your identity is when people see you, when they hear of you, what comes to their minds. Your reputation is when your thought comes to people's minds. When they read about you anywhere, what is the first thought that comes to their minds? I remember reading something years ago of a guy that wanted to get married to a girl. But the mother's reputation, that girl's mother's reputation preceded her, because the lady was known to be somebody who is into, when they say is a cheat, my children say that now you can say cheater, that is now acceptable. In fact, she had a reputation of being chaste. Maybe her husband, all these movies that's like the husband coming home sorry, I'm trying to say, the husband coming home and meeting somebody there and the man was jumping out of the window. It is everywhere. So the gist was that the woman was like, you can't marry this girl because the reputation of her mom is not good. Sometimes we don't even think about that. We don't think about how our reputation can affect our children, can affect our spouses. Reputation must be something we think about, and you must try and shape it. You try and make sure that it's something that you shape. It's your unique identity. It's the way you present and project yourself to the world. So usually with personal branding, knowing that your reputation is important, you then present yourself in a certain way. Now, is it true that the woman, maybe that's what happened? Nobody really knows because we read it in the papers. But something must have happened that was maybe compromising situation. That reminds me of when the Bible says, flee from all appearances of evil. When you do that, sometimes you are guarding your reputation. It's all tied to your personal brand. When you ensure that you don't get entangled in things that can come back, and media doesn't forget. You have done some things, then later you want to run for one office or want to do something, they bring it up. Reputation. So with personal brand, knowing that is your unique identity. When it comes to some people, let me tell you, when it comes to some people's thinking, and I've heard it before, they say, she's even so proud. She's even because I'm more of an introvert. People who don't get to know me think that. So for some people, that will be the reality. They say, she's not even friendly. But majority of people, as you have written, as Chat has written, will take all those things you said, all of them, and I have it in Chat, and I don't know Chat. Chat doesn't know me. But in the majority, what is your reputation?
I don't know now.
Mom B, please mute. What's your reputation? Princess, can you see to that? Don't distract. Just tell anybody to mute who's not, So what's your reputation? Once you know who you are, you must begin to craft and then project that reputation. It is an intentional thing. People don't become a brand, just like companies don't become a brand just by wishing. It is an intentional thing. How do you wish to be perceived by others, socially or at work? Once you have identified that, you begin to do what? Project it. I give you an example. Now, these days I support my church in other ways, but there was a church that I was at in the past. And even with everything that God had, helped me with, I would robe. When you wear, it was a Pentecostal church, but we used to sing hymns. I would make sure I would robe and and I would sing with all these young girls. And people used to wonder, they'll say, so she's doing this and she's still robing like that. Do you know what I was trying to project? That godly aspect of me, that no matter, I'm a small girl with a big God. No matter what God has done in my life, I don't mind. Because people would like to dress up on Sunday, I don't care, wear my robe and wear mine. I was projecting something. I was projecting godliness. So, and that is who I am. The problem is when you are not authentic, when you are pretentious, that becomes a problem. And people will smell it. They can smell a fake from anywhere. But when I was checking chats the other day, I was looking at, because I was saying leader, mentor, Gidiko, I was looking for the godliness. And I saw it. Eventually, I could see God, just my values and then God. So how do you want to be perceived socially and at work? A personal brand is the combination of your values, your skills, your expertise, and your reputation. And you must be conscious of it and project it properly. When we're looking at professional things, because we're talking about accelerating success, looking at the professional thing, it's imperative that you understand that you're a brand and you carve that story. Your reputation at work. If you're a career person or a business person, you must be mindful of it. Your personal brand is that foundation on which you build your profession on and your brand as a professional. If you don't have values, you don't show skills, you don't have expertise, your reputation is bad, how do you think you're going to grow to the top and become the CEO or CEO of a company? Or start your own business and people will think that you are worth patronizing? So for career professionals here, you don't have your own business, but you want to rise in your career. Realize that promotions will be around who you are. Before, when the top executive team have those meetings, your name to come up, they will consider everything. For entrepreneurs, remember, your personal brand is what will attract clients. So it's so important that we think about it. And like I said, most of us were not, even from the questions. These are personal brands. A brand essence is the core of your personal brand. When you think Oprah, if I had time, I would have said what comes to mind. You think authenticity. Anytime you see her crying there, she's so real. Empowerment, inspiration. I'm sure you will agree with me. Michelle Obama is someone that I really, really love and respect. She's an intelligent woman. Integrity, empowerment, advocacy. Those are the values that I have myself. I like to advocate for people and for things. I like to empower, and integrity is very important to me. Richard Branson, the owner of Virgin Atlantic, adventurous. He wants to go to Mars. He's a disruptor. He's an innovator. Who names an airline Virgin? Virgin, how? He's very innovative. He's a disruptor. Before there was only British Airways, the guy came in and did so many things, innovations. He created upper class, which is in between first class and business class in business airways, in British Airways. He disrupted the system. I used to fly British Airways. For over 20-something years, I've been flying Virgin. Disruption. Tony Elumelu, catalyst. He's a catalyst. Empowerment and transformation. He has this foundation, doesn't he? So how do we build our, this is just a very short training on this because we're here for question and answers, but I cannot leave you without, making sure that I also pour into you. 3 things when you want to, we've defined what a personal brand is. It's your unique identity, it's your reputation, it's how you present and project yourself and how you're perceived either socially or at work. Now, how do you build a strong personal brand? There are 3 things you need to focus on. Are we learning? Can I see in the chat? I want to see, are we learning? Are we learning? Can I see that? I want to see your answers. Yes, are we? Thank you. Yes, thank you. 3 things. Like I said, that I have, other trainings, but I just brought some things out because today is really question and answer. 3 things that you must focus on. Your identity. In building a personal brand, do you know when I decided to start focusing on my personal brand, I needed to know who Kenny Wani, who am I? Who really am I? What are my values? What are my strengths? What are my unique skills? What's my story? What's my experience? Who are you? Those who said, it's not really there on the web, or it's saying something that's different, or you don't really know how people perceive you, this is where to start. You're going to sit down and just look inward. Self-awareness is a social, emotional skill that everybody must have. Who are you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the values? Your values, your core values especially, we call them guardrails. The things that you will never go outside of. What are unique skills that you have? For me, that could be something like leadership. It is an innate skill that I have also then went for training in. And I dare say, because you say, it's not a matter of being humble. You must know who you are. I know I'm a good leader to the glory of God. I had innate abilities God gave me, but I didn't sit down on that. John Maxwell says, he says, leaders are born, but great leaders are made. I had innate leadership skills that was validated by my teacher in primary school and by other people. But I didn't sit down with that and say, oh yeah, I'm a leader. I went to study leadership. I study leadership every time. So I do have unique leadership skills, because when I see a lot of things and I'm wondering, oh wow, I wish this person could understand what to do. My core values, excellence. A lot of people mention that. Excellence. It's unique. It's part of my story. My father was an administrator in the university. So education is one of the things, that I'm very passionate about, because I grew up in a university environment. But he wasn't only a senior administrator in the university, he was a clergyman. So upbringing was very much into morals and Christian values. So when I say today that I'm God-fearing, I don't need you to validate. I know it. My mother was a headmistress. She was a teacher, became headmistress. My mother was a perfectionist. But I grew up knowing that I didn't want to go to the extent of my mother's perfection, because they say perfection, it just wearies everybody. So I learned something better than perfectionism, which is excellence. So I know who I am. And then I project that to people. So in defining your identity, who are you? You need to do the homework. No, your husband can do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. The only thing you can do is ask them, like I asked you today. I do that sometimes. I'll ask my staff, I ask my family and friends, just when you think of me, name 3 words that come to mind. It helps you. Then you must project what you stand for. What are your beliefs? What's your purpose? For me now, a belief is I advocate for people. I believe in empowering people. I don't believe in learning something. When I know something, all of you must learn it. That's why I'm doing this today. I believe in sharing knowledge. I believe in education. I believe in raising, having a platform where I can groom students to become leaders. I believe in learners. I work with learners. Who do I serve? Learners. Learners, either adults or students. I like people who want to learn. So I do leadership training. I have a school. I do a lot of things to do with learning. Who is your target audience? You must know. My target audience, leaders, educators, owners of businesses, learners at any level. They are the people I like to service. Then, how do you communicate or present yourself? With consistency. And I work now, first of all, I have an amazing team at work who really help with this, because I actually struggled a lot with personal branding because I'm quite a reserved and private person. I struggled with it, even with my business, to be on social media. But then I started my business at the beginning of the turn of the century. So many things have changed since then. I can't continue to say, okay, I don't do social media and all. So I had to incorporate it. So I work with an amazing team and also an amazing social media company. Shout out to Scale Next if you're here. I work with an amazing team. So I communicate myself online and offline, my visual identity, how I come across, how I dress, how I speak, everything. That is your brand. You must be clear. It must be clear. Brand clarity is important. You must define it. Nobody can define it for you. People can help you, but it must be who you are. So because of time, I won't go into, but I gave an example of Michelle Obama, who she is: authentic, relatable, intelligent, compassionate, inspiring. She was a lawyer, advocate, all that. What does she stand for? Empowering women and girls, promoting education, advocating for equality. That's what she's known for. Her target audience: women, girls, leaders, change makers. She's very much into change. She will speak. She doesn't want a political office, but she's always there speaking for change. Now, how does she communicate herself? Just look at her. Just Google her. Her tone is warm. She's very relatable. She's very candid. She speaks from her heart. And all that. So visually, when you look at her anytime, clean, elegant, approachable, tailored suits. How do you come across? That's this now. How do you apply this to your personal brand? So you will do some work. In short, this training, it will, in another 10 minutes, we'll finish it before we go into. So we'll spend like an hour and a half, we should be fine. So I need you to do this right now. Are you with me? I want you to work on this for just 5 minutes. Who are you at your core? Jot it down. And I can choose anybody. Those of you that feel that, okay, let's just be talking. No, I can choose anybody. And if you mute, because some people will just say, okay, call me now. I will just not say anything. It's your loss. You are not learning. Who are you at your core? Who are you? Who are you? What are some values that you have? What do you stand for? What do you stand for? Uche, no, don't let me call Uche again. I was going to say one of the people who had mentioned, let me see, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I just need to ask questions. Let me prepare you. Okay, Abayomi, you are here. Is that Abayomi? AOJ.
Yes, my it's him.
Okay, he's muting. No, Abayomi, you are there. I want to ask you, not now, but think about it. Or Princess, should I put you on? I want to put somebody on the spot that I know will not collapse. And say, because one of the things people talked about was public speaking. Who? Kerry, yes, Kerry is you. I'm going to talk, and you are the one that you're going to answer. So, who are you at your core? What do you stand for? Yeah, let me. Not yet.
Okay.
What do you stand for? How do you present yourself? So basically, those are the things. But let me ask, just talking about it, very in 1 minute, Perry, what's your personal brand? What do you think it is?
Well, the truth of the matter is I've not really thought about it in this depth.
Just thinking about it now. Beautiful,
yes.
and I love this. So when I think of personal brand, right? You can even with the brand essence, which would be just like 3 words that capture who you are. Then we can go into the statement.
Well, I'm sure people will say she's strict and she leads strictly.
Okay.
Yeah,
and what?
Lead strictly.
Okay, lead strictly. Okay, so
then
that's
values.
what people will say. And values. Good. Now, is that exactly what you want your personal brand to be? Because there's what people are saying right now. There's what you want to project, knowing it is you. Do you want to be known as not strict or somebody who is firm and friendly? Or just strict? What do you want?
Well, I want to be known as somebody who is warm and friendly, but still strict. But, when you have been exposed to other cultures, when you come into Africa, it's like you are aggressive? Is it either aggressive or assertive? As Chimamanda will say, a woman is aggressive, a man is assertive. You understand? So I come across as aggressive, but I'm not necessarily like that. It's the culture that is tagging me. So how do I drop something like that?
Beautiful. So you are more assertive than aggressive. So this is what personal branding is about. So you need to begin to shape people's minds around who you really are. Because being assertive is important. Being aggressive is not nice.
No.
So what everybody should do, this is not just people will say, how did you achieve this? How did you achieve that? When you are telling them what you did, people just so they say that there's people who succeed, they don't like to do certain things as well, but the push of that success that they want to achieve or the purpose they want to achieve, it drives them.
Yeah.
But they say, and I'm not saying anybody is a failure, but failures don't want to do those and they don't do it. So you can't be at this meeting and just say, okay, I'm just listening. So I want everybody to put down 3 words. 3 words at the core of who they are. 3 words. Okay, just put it down because I need to move. 3 words. And I will use myself later on as an example. That is it. For me, these are my 3 words. I sat down and and do you know another thing I used? Sometimes when you put everything down, use AI. After you have poured your heart, that's why I say to people, AI cannot take over anybody because AI cannot initiate anything. You have to put in, before I was able to really narrow down, I poured my heart on AI. This is who I am, but I don't like this. But I talk to chat and the other platforms I use as I'm talking to my friend. I like this. This is very important to me. These are my values, but I don't. And eventually, I was able to pinpoint exactly. I've always said godliness and excellence, but it was during this prodding and probing with AI, I realized empowerment is what that 3rd thing is for me. I love to empower people. So my brand essence, a brand essence is the core of your personal brand. They are godliness, for which I'm not apologetic, excellence. If anything is worth doing at all, do it well. The Bible says, let everything be done decently and in order. Why should I do wishy-washy stuff? And empowerment. Why am I doing this today? My husband was laughing today. He said, Kenny, me and my trainings. I said, we all know what gives us joy. That is the essence of who I am. And my personal brand statement, and again, I'm saying to you, once you start thinking about this thing, use AI. It will help you bring everything together. My personal brand statement is this: I am guided in everything I do by godliness. I'm driven by excellence, and I'm passionate about empowering people to unlock their potential and lead purposeful, impactful lives. What, for those who, everything people said, is this not in line with it? So that's my own personal brand statement. So I needed to identify those keywords and then come up with my personal brand statement. And I used AI, as I said, to be able to bring everything together. I, Kende Wani, am guided by godliness. I'm driven by excellence, and I'm passionate about empowering you and everyone I come across to help them unlock their potential and lead purposeful, impactful lives. That's the empowering part of me. So my personal tagline, in fact, this was what AI, when I asked, what is Kende Wani's personal brand? I didn't even work on this. You know, chat showed me this, that from everything on the internet about me, my tagline is transforming lives through education, leadership, and purpose-driven impact. Is that not me? I'm into education and leadership, because leadership goes beyond education. Leadership across any industry. I'm very interested in helping people with education and then purpose-driven impact. I'm very much into nation building and change and things like that. So this is what, because of time, I don't have, but this is exactly all the things AI said regarding me: education reform, excellence, leadership, nation building was mentioned, women empowerment and personal development. I have ABL, business and entrepreneurship, faith and value-based leadership was part of what AI said, and how I communicate my brands, speaking engagements, online presence, community impact through my Medal Foundation. So are we learning? You need to know who you are. When you are building a personal brand, you need to understand it's about presenting and projecting yourself in an authentic way. Don't try and project who you are not. People will know you are lying. It will not last. Then you must then think self-awareness, the three pillars: self-awareness. It is know your identity. Who am I? What are my values? What are my strengths? Then you can come up with 3 words that represent who you are. And then from those 3 words, you come up with a personal brand statement. Once you have that statement, you know what happens? You begin to project it. But this is my personal brand statement. So I begin to project it: godliness. So I robe in church. At that time, I don't do that anymore because I serve in other ways. I project it there's no training I do. And again, it's a small, I can be very real. There's no training I do ever. Listen to my training and say, if I'll not being God. Either it's that the strength you need is from God, you need prayer. Do you think I just do that? I do it purposely. I do it purposely because it is the truth for me. And if I've trained even Kobe's, abroad and all that, I would put it somewhere at the end. How everybody needs that divine power. I'm carving out my personal brand. Excellence in all I do. Everybody knows that if I cook, that food must be sweet. If I dress, I must dress properly. If whatever I do, I must put in my best. And excellence is being better tomorrow than you were yesterday. Excellence is not perfection. And then I love to empower people. So the more I know that, the more I project it, the more it helps my personal brand. Number 2 thing you need to do, once you have brand clarity, visibility, you need to project yourself. This is where I struggled. I'm private, but I need to be out there. Again, God speaks to me through the word. In the book of John, there's somewhere that Jesus's brother said to him, they say, if you do all these things, show the world. They were mocking him though. But that thing hit me like it was like highlighted. If you do this thing, show the world. And now we know, if you are not out there visible, it said that if you are not on social media or any of this, it says you do not exist. Your business does not exist. That is where we are in the world. You cannot fight technology. You cannot fight advancement. So as I'm very introverted, you have a business, is not anywhere on any platform. And then we're wondering, nobody knows me. I don't even know. My business is not thriving. How will it thrive? In the 21st century, 2025, nobody can find you. Nobody can find your business. Visibility. You need to get seen. You need to get heard. Optimize. If it is IG that you're comfortable with, use it. If you're in any industry, have that industry presence. Be part of the association of your industry. Try and speak at conferences. Write thought pieces. Contribute. Sometimes, okay, somebody else is contributing. Don't just do thumbs up. You can say a few things about it. Why should I patronize you when I don't even know what you know? I don't see your product. You don't say anything. Ladies, honestly, sometimes it agitates me. We're too much at ease in Zion. And we want change. We don't network. There's no relationship. We just stay in our homes and we're doing our small businesses. And then you are complaining. Do you know that your life, I'm sorry to deviate, do you know that your success glorifies your God? The Bible says that men may see my good works and glorify my Father in heaven. Do you think your these things that we do, they're not going anywhere? Do you think it glorifies God in your lives? In your career, do more. Don't use all your time going to parties and doing National B and watching Netflix. For entrepreneurs, have a page, have a website. Go on Instagram, do something, share successes, customer testimonials, do those things, showcase your expertise. All right, because of time, there's an activity there. You can write it. I don't have time to do that right now. As participants, it's supposed to be for 20 minutes, but I'm so sorry. As participants, I want you guys to list one platform where you will become more visible. Okay, we can do that. List it, put it on the chat. One platform at least that you know that going forward, you are going to become more visible. Yes, I'm looking. Yeah. Go on to the chat. One platform that you can see from today, after Dr. Wani's Instagram. Thank you, LinkedIn, YouTube, yeah, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Nobody's going to do these things for you. You have to do it. Beautiful. All right. So the third thing, as I round up, would be brand trust. Brand trust. And what is under there? Brand trust, credibility, and influence. So you are building your personal brand, and even that has an impact on your business. Yeah, credibility. Virgin Atlantic, I watched a video, I have it on here. Virgin Atlantic, he says that he realized something, that he was trying to build his brand. That's what I realized as well. He says that he realized that people were more interested in knowing him first, in knowing him, than Virgin. So he started to project himself. So you need to build that brand trust as a personal brand and for your business. So career-wise, develop deep expertise in your field. How good are you? Get testimonials. Deliver consistently excellent results as a career person. Let people know you. Other businesses will come, they want to poach you and all that, because you have built, you are a brand. You are a brand. For entrepreneurs, testimonials, put it up there. Yeah? Always find ways to demonstrate your expertise. All right? So, Tara Duotoye, we all know her authenticity, beauty, quality, beauty products. Moabudu. Just look at the movies that she created and other people. So brand trust, credibility, and influence. Ask what's one step you can take today to build more credibility in your industry? One step you can take today to build more credibility in your industry. I'll just take one or two. I won't wait for everybody. I just want to see what people are thinking. Tell me one thing, one step you can take from tomorrow that can help you build more credibility. Demonstrating authenticity. Lovely. One more. In education, if you're in education, you want to write articles. If you're a business owner, what is one step you can take towards building credibility in your industry? Yeah, let's say you're in the construction industry, whatever. How can you build showing up, networking? Yes, yes, yes. Put testimonials. For some of us, it is even starting to have a social media page. You must have, even if it's Instagram, and you are putting the picture of the food that you do. Maybe you have a food a business, or you have a shop. Put the pictures up on social media. Then work on your website. Okay, there's nobody doing anybody. It is our ignorance and we just feel overwhelmed. We just don't want to. It's like you must take a step. If you don't take a step, you can't improve. So that's it. Key takeaways: 3 pillars to build your personal brand. Clarity, visibility, and trust must be built. And I have this challenge. Just take a picture of it. We don't have time for it now. I want you to write one action you would take within the next 48 hours to strengthen your personal brand. A lot of people, again, like I said, John Maxwell will say something. He says, when he trains, then he'll say, alas, most people will not do these things. He says, and therefore they remain bound in failure. So take this picture and make sure you do something within the next 48 hours. Closing words: your personal brand is the naira that you are spending, the dollar you are spending in order to open doors you can never imagine. Personal brand is at the root of all the questions you have asked me today, that you will ask me. All right, so this is a video. I don't have time for that now. Now it's time for question and answers. Any questions on this presentation before we start the other question and answer? Anybody has any questions? Anybody regarding what I've shared? Princess, are you ready? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's see. I can see the claps. Any question? I will attend conferences even when I'm not presenting a paper. Thank you. Look at your day. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. At the very end, oh no, let me quickly do it. What are you taking away? I want to see it in the chat. You know, I'm a teacher. We like to have a plenary. What are you taking away? I can see thanks and see flowers. I see claps, but I want you to take one thing that struck you, that you're like, wow, I'm taking away. Princess, don't worry, we're starting now. Yes, let me see, even if it's a few people. What are you taking away? I'm a brand. Good, 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 good. What are you taking away? Put into action. Put what into action, Dama? Put into action. Put what into action? My personal brand is me. Good, 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 good. Importance of showing up because you are a brand. Brand visibility is important. You must be visible. You need to be more intentional about branding. Lovely. It's not early. It's not too early to build your brand. Yeah, clarity, visible, and trust. Reflect and do something about your personal branding. Good. Visible rebranding. Lovely. Who am I? What are my values? What are my experiences? How am I perceived? Lovely. Can I see more? Anybody? Yes, yes. What have you learned? Yes, put your personal brand and visibility into action. Yes, you'll be more intentional about projecting more assertiveness, brand authenticity. Lovely. Smart class. Thank you very, very, very much. Over to you, Miss Morakio. Yeah, go ahead. We can't hear you.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. That
Yep.
was such an insightful, instructive, and eye-opening session. If you agree with, I mean, I've already seen all the flowers and the claps and then all our key takeaways. And one thing that is important that I just want to add is that in everything that we've learned, we have to be, there's something I've learned with Dr. Wani, having worked with her for a while, and that's you must actually write down the steps you want to take. So if you want to build your brand now and you're saying that you want to be more visible with certain things, write the specific thing that you want to do differently to build it. So that's just my own personal key takeaway. Thank you so much for sharing, Ma.
You're welcome.
So I'll just go straight to the questions that we have. One of the first questions that we have here is about starting a business. So the question goes, what exactly do I need to start a business? How can I raise investments? And then how can I secure funding opportunities?
Okay, great. So regarding these questions, sometimes I might be glancing at my paper, right? Because I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to help you. And sometimes I have jotted my points down. So I might be looking away. It is not a test of memory. It is to be able to answer your questions. So a lot of questions, from what I can remember, had to do with raising finance, especially when you do not have any money at all. We all started from somewhere. And the way I started, which is in line with what I'm going to ask you to do, is you must understand personal savings. You shouldn't even be ready to start any business if you have not been able to save a dime. Number one, the fact is that nobody, no lender, who's there, please mute, no lender, no investor, nobody will give you funds if you have nothing at all. And I don't think the answer is far-fetched. That means you are not committed to the cause. Why should I bring my money when you don't have a dime? So it must always start with, when you go to the bank, when I went to the bank, in order to be able to access funds from the bank, I'm sure for anybody who has ever approached the bank, they will tell you, where is your equity contribution? So you want 50 million from the bank. I think it's about 20%. The bankers here would know, there's a percentage that you must bring. So if you want 50 million, 10% of that or 20% of that you must have it, which could be about maybe 500 million, 500, like 150 million, like 500,000 or something like that. Somebody can do the math for me. You will have something without which they will not borrow you money. So when people say, where do I start? Where do you start? It is with personal savings. You need to, from your day job, whatever amount you are getting right now, start setting. So it's not even enough. You are not ready to start a business if you cannot say that even 5,000. So no matter how small, it is also the discipline of it. It's the discipline. So you need to be able to have personal finance, cut down on expenses. Honestly, these are our culture of Ashwebi. I hate it. Honestly, I dislike that thing. I dislike it. Every Ankara. In fact, those who are doing functions, why are they asking for Ashwebi? I don't understand. And I've heard that people do it to make money. It is unfair. You want to give them gifts, then you'll be using their money. I think my in-law is here. When we did the wedding, we did Ashwebi for what? Well, call color. Wear your color. Except maybe when, it's really your very, very close people. Stop taking that Ashwebi, Nigerians, women, stop taking it. If everybody wants to, just wear the color. Aren't you proud of who you are? You must have a good head on your shoulder. You must go to places, dress properly. Who cares? They will not give you the gift. What is the gift that they're giving you? Plastic. What is the gift that they're giving you? Cut down on expenses. Save. Start putting some money aside. That is how you can access funds. So personal savings is one. Number two, friends and family. When I wanted to start my business, Thank God for my husband. Sometimes it's family. It might be one uncle, one auntie. Go to friends and family. They will give you something. They want it, of course, again, you said personal brand. If your brand has been so obnoxious, rude, not nice, selfish, you now say, uncle, please, now I want to start a business. He will not even see you. So mind yourself, personal branding. Who are you? Family and friends will give you. Now, I must put a caveat. When you are collecting money from family and friends, be it husband, family, if it is a gift, let there be a written trail. That is a gift. Because some people, when maybe one uncle gave you money, was gift. Oh, when you have now prospered, you say, which gift? It's not a gift. Oh, we are sharing this money. You be like, but you say, you uncle, you gave me. Say, no, it's not a gift. So make sure there's something that shows that it was a gift. If it is a loan, let it be written. How much, when you will pay back, what is the percentage of interest, all those things from family and friends. There's something that's called crowdfunding. We don't have access to those things. Here in the US, we do, crowdfunding, Kickstarter, all these things, but we don't in Nigeria. So there's something they call DIY crowdfunding. It is more or less you setting up a page, like a Facebook page or TikTok, talking about the business you want to start, and asking people either for pre-sale, maybe like, this is the product, do they want to order, and things like that. Sometimes donations is like begging. Some people say, I can't beg. It's okay. There's so many other ways. But crowdfunding is just basically raising funds from a crowd. It is a way. Sometimes you can pre-sell a product or a service. When I was going to start Meadowhall, I started with the summer school. I didn't want to start in September and just open the doors. So I started, it was like a pre-sale, because I then offered, people to come to summer school, and the children loved it. And they said they were not going to go back to their school. So you can pre-sell something, either a product. Sometimes you can volunteer and give it for free. You can start something, you've just started a new product, you offer it to some people, and
I'm telling them that it is, no.
Who is this? Who is talking? You offer it for free to people, either a product or a service. So it's, you can sell something at a discounted amount just to get in the funds. Sometimes there's business grants, but in Nigeria, those things, but NGOs will give you grants, government will give you, but most of those things have to have a social impact aspect to it. Microfinance, microloans, go to microfinance banks and places like that. What we call bootstrapping is what I did. Bootstrapping means growing organically. Start small, dream big. We started small and we started to grow. The profit, you plow it back. Profit, you plow it back. So that's called bootstrapping. You started it and you grew it right from that company. Asset sale. Yes. I remember when I was going to start, there was an asset that we have that actually my husband was ready for. We also were doing some other things, and we sold the asset. That's why you have assets sometimes, asset that you don't need, and we sold it, and part of it. So sometimes you have an asset. Some of you have jewelry, go to Dubai, sell it in Nigeria. Assets, what do you have? To start, you need some money. And then there's something called angel investors. There are some individuals who like to invest in new businesses. They are called angel investors. Angels, because really they don't know if they succeed or not, but they like to support, new businesses. They will get their shares, they will get their returns, but they can bet on you as a new business, something that maybe sometimes banks are not ready to, or equity partners are not ready to. So those are quite a number of ways that you can start. All right. I hope that helps regarding, because a lot of people ask questions about finance. And I have said all those things. Nobody should come back and say, so, but how do you start? I went from just personal finance all the way. So I hope you heard my answers. Thank you. Go on, Princess.
Okay, I think there's also one other part of the question. Okay, well, I think
Okay.
you can just always research to get information on how to access fundings or grants on the internet, basically. All right, so the next question is about finding purpose. We have a couple of questions, and then I'll just read them all together. Is there anything like balance between a corporate day-to-day job, your family, and trying to start a business? How can I discover what my business should be while I feel stuck in my corporate job, overwhelmed with demands?
Okay. So going back to what you said, yeah, I know that I'm sure people know they can actually go online, but I think they wanted something that's experiential and sharing. That's what I've done. All right. So they want, anybody can go and, but I've tried to break it down. So that's what I've been able to do with the people. So that question, I believe, is talking about work-life balance, what we now call work-life integration. The person, I believe, is talking about raising a young family. Am I right? Princess.
Yes, there's actually another question about that though, and how to manage the life of a toddler and reach a career
Okay,
goal.
and then this one is it in line or is it are they different? This one
It's
is
a bit
what?
different because this one is about finding purpose. If you have to decide between starting a business and continue with your corporate day-to-day job.
Okay, starting a business.
Yes,
and
or
continue with day-to-day. So that's
yes.
about purpose. Okay. So the answer to that, I think, would be, first of all, and without sounding over spiritual, what's your purpose? What's God saying? What's God saying? I was a lawyer for quite a number of years before I pursued education. But before I crossed over from one career to entrepreneurship, I needed to seek the face of my maker because he knows why he made me. He knows the purpose or the purposes that he created me that I must achieve before I come back. It is said that the safest place to be is in the place of purpose. If God has said you will fulfill this, nothing can take you out before your time. Absolutely nothing, if you're his child. If he has not sent you message, let me use the Nigerian way. If he has not sent you and you sent yourself, it is a very dangerous place to be because anything can happen. So if I'm crossing over, I would first of all talk about what is God saying? What is your creator saying? Because the safest place to be, where there's success, where there's safety, is in the place of purpose. I say to people, I've been a lawyer and I've been an educator. That law, I sent myself because I knew that I was supposed to be a teacher. And I went into uni to study education. I changed because I didn't want to be a teacher. And I was just doing rigmarole up and down, nothing special. Because it wasn't, but God was looking at me like Jonah, go to Nineveh, he went to Tarshish. God was looking at me. But because I was his daughter, he brought me back. So start, first of all, with knowing what God is saying. Does God speak to you? You need to know how he speaks to you. Finding purpose. God speaks, and he does not speak once. If you look at the story of Joseph in the Bible, he gave him, first of all, a dream about the sheaves bowing before him. Then he confirmed it with another dream where the sun and moon and all the stars bowed behind him. When you're seeking for purpose, he will speak more than once. And let me also tell you something. Most of the time, he will start with you. I don't know when people will go, I have a vision, you should go and start land business, you go into real estate. And somebody, how does they know you? You just go to church. You are a real estate somebody. Meanwhile, God did not send you because you don't have that relationship because you now go and start real estate that God did not send you then. So you need to, that relationship with God is important so he can speak to you. He will confirm it. When he tells you something, he will confirm it either with you, your other areas, and other people will confirm, but he should not be that somebody tells you first what it is. Okay, there'll be a confirmation. So seek the face of your maker. Then what you also then do is go and look at those who are already doing that business. Speak to them. Ask them. Find out more. When I was going into education from law, I started talking to people who are already school owners. I started learning more about it. I went to seek more knowledge about it. Another thing you can do, I have somebody who used to work with me. She's amazing now. I don't know, she's on platform. She lives in the US now. What she did was volunteer. She started volunteering in schools because she wanted to find out. She did start with education. She wanted to find out if it was for her. She started volunteering in schools. And she would say, don't pay me. She wanted to know if for something she will enjoy. So how do you start? I would say pray about it. I would say seek knowledge about it, research everywhere. There's information everywhere. I would say study. And then another thing I did was to go back to study about it. I needed to study education. I didn't want to run my business as a lawyer. So in studying about it, I fell more and more in love. I started with the PGCE because from law, I couldn't do a master's in education. So I started from Montessori. I fell in love with education. And then I did the PGC, did a master, did my PhD. So study about it, volunteer, whatever you do, start small. So that if you see that this is not really what you're enjoying, you shut it down. So I hope that answers that question.
Absolutely, Ma. Thank you so much for that. The next question is around imposter syndrome. So the person is talking about how they recently got a senior management role and it appears that they don't know what they are doing. So they would like to know if there's anything they can do to talk themselves into believing that they can deliver in the new role that they just got.
Yes, I actually had to, because I have a training on that. So I took some pictures regarding that. What you're describing is what we call an imposter syndrome. And I was actually even going to talk about that before. A lot of us, and you know what? It usually happens with women. That's self-doubt. You go to a meeting and you're adjusting yourself. You're like, your mind is telling you you have no seat here. That who are you? You too, you think you can contribute at this kind of meeting? You are trying to. There's that self-doubt. And overcoming that in that senior leadership role, I want you to say to yourself, whoever that person is, that if they hadn't seen something in you, they would not, first of all, have invited you. The reason for any business is to make money, is to make profit, even is to add value so that you provide that value so you can make money. So whoever has made you a senior management, put you on senior management, they have seen something in you. Believe in yourself. So that self-belief is key. Building your own confidence is key. Confidence. When you have confidence, you are looking at the fact that, look, how do you build confidence? You speak to yourself. I use affirmations. There are places that you go to that are like, hey, Father, I'll just be the only one. Self-awareness. What are my weaknesses? You work on those areas as well. I want you to have that mindset, positive self-talk. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm smart. I'm beautiful. I can do all things. If you do not speak to yourself, the world will bring you down. The default of the world is to make you feel lower and less than you are. Nobody can help you with this. Because even if your husband says good things to you, your children, if you don't believe it, you will keep. So I need you to speak to yourself, build that confidence. When you need to gain experience in that thing you're doing. Experience builds confidence. Experience, the more experienced you are, the more confident you become. before I started doing all these things, it's over the years. When I started, I wasn't this confident. But experience, the more experienced you are, the more confident. So then preparation, you need to continue to prepare yourself. So that helps build confidence. Then overcoming, especially that imposter syndrome. I took a picture. It says, you need to acknowledge the feelings that you have, put a name to it. Put a name to it. Yeah, the Bible says, and then, whatever, what's the scripture now? It's about naming something, then you can attack it. So you need to put a name to it. Recognize that what you're experiencing is what we call imposter. It's like I'm a fake. I really shouldn't be here. Once you have done that, you challenge and you reframe that negative thought. Use affirmations. I have affirmations I read every day. Some people have shorter ones that they've crammed and they just say it. But because mine is a bit, every morning I use those affirmations. Then you also need a network of supporters. You have friends that lift you up. Me, I don't do many friends. I don't think I have more than two friends. Because anytime I hang out with people and I leave feeling negative, you can't be my friend. I leave feeling like, oh God, every time, not once in a while that they are telling you the truth. Every time you are with them, you leave feeling sad. So build a network of supporters, encouragers when you're feeling down. Embrace mistakes, have a growth mindset. I can't do this yet. Yet is the key word, but I will do it eventually. Never keep growing, never rest on your oars, and don't compare yourself with people. How can I become like this and speak like this? And our journeys are different. They have put in so many years of experience that you have not. So again, imposter syndrome is very common amongst women. But if you start doing those things, you will overcome it. You will grow into that position. Trust me. All of us, when you get to a new position, you are first of all like you doubt yourself. You're asked to join a board or something. You doubt yourself, but then you grow into it, doing all these things. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much, Ma. So there's another question regarding business growth in general, and we have a couple of questions around that.
Okay.
So this question goes, how do you structure your business for growth? What are the core pillars to focus on in building a strong organizational structure?
Okay.
There's also one that that talks about how do I break free from charging too low for my services, and then also scaling up.
I won't mix all those. I think I'll start because I saw one that talked about starting their business. And then I saw another one that talked about like growing their business. So,
Yes.
but that one of charging low is another. So we'll talk about that. So I'm going to take it from starting because that kind of segues into growing it and sustaining it, right? So for those who are saying, okay, somebody said, how do I start my business? Do you know where you start a business from? It is from, first of all, I've told you about that, first, knowing yourself, and all that. What's God saying? I've said that. I've talked about personal branding. So you're conscious that whatever business you're going to, what's your reputation? You work on all those things. But when you really, really want to start a business, where it starts is what we call strategic planning. When anyhow you hear the word strategy, is talking about not just planning, actions to take. So activities, actions. So a strategic plan is about these are my short-term goals, long-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals, and this is how I want to achieve those plans. So everything starts from strategy. Where's strategy, that's what strategy is about. What strategies do you need? First of all, you need to get a vision for the company. So I was talking to someone recently and they were thinking the vision, their own life's vision is the same as the vision for the company. No, there's an impact because who I am will have an impact on the vision for my company, but it's not the same. So what is this thing you want to do? Why do you want to start the vision? So a vision is what you want to achieve in future is a futuristic goal that you have, that you are starting with, and then into the future. Okay, so what is your vision? What are you trying to achieve? So Meadowhall, for example, our vision is to be pace setters in innovation and in the provision of outstanding education in West Africa. We have started on it because we are very innovative, but it keeps us, it's our North Star. Everything we do, we're thinking of innovation. Outstanding education in West Africa. So technology and innovation is not just technology. Innovation would be modern pedagogical practices, modern methods of teaching, student-centered learning, and things like that. So that's the vision. Once you know your vision, again, as we have said, you see, a lot of these things, it just must start from you. What are your thoughts? Put everything together, put it on AI. It will help you narrow it down, firm it up. What is your vision? Then you must look at your mission. Your mission is how you hope to achieve your vision. Any vision, mission, people will tell you different things. People confuse everything. Let me tell you, your vision is what you want to achieve. Your mission is how you hope to achieve it. So bite-sized ways of achieving it. So for us, for example, in achieving that vision of innovation and outstanding education, our mission talks about the kind of teachers we employ, the facilities we put in place, the technology we're going to use. How you hope to achieve your vision. That is how to start any business. Then something as important is your value proposition. I'm so sorry, I need water. Just give me a minute, please.
Thank you for that, Ma. Thank you for the questions. Sorry, the answers so far. I hope we're learning and we're jotting things down. And then I really, really hope that the people who asked these questions are here and are taking answers.
Please give me a minute.
All right.
Princess, just give me a minute because I haven't eaten anything at all. So I was feeling a bit, my tummy was feeling. So I just want to take a bite of something and just drink some water. So you can ask a question or just discuss something. Just give me 1 minute.
All right, Ma. Oh, okay, so if your question has been answered or you had a question that has been answered, please let's just see your takeaways in the chat. What have you learned starting a business, how to get funds? It's very important. That savings, the savings parts and the Ashrebi parts I feel like my wig is gone. For those of us that plan to buy a lot of Ashrebi this year, no more Ashrebi. So put your savings, or rather schedule. No, it's not schedule. I think it's put in place how you want to break down your salaries.
Yeah, your budget. You have a budget.
Yes, thank you, Ma.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you because of time. So your vision, what do you want to achieve? Visions evolve. So it's not once and for all. When you started your business, now it's 21st century, now is after COVID, things change. Our vision changed from what it was before to raise excellent and godly children who will become who will fulfill their highest potential and become lifelong learners. That was it before COVID. After COVID, it changed. Visions change. Then you have your mission, how you hope to achieve your vision. Then what we call value proposition. This is the one people never think about. Your value proposition simply means what value are you bringing that should make people choose your own business and not the next? If it is a school, why Meadowhall and not LPS? What value are you bringing? That in short, why should I patronize you? That is your value, because business is about giving value. There's a gap you have seen. You now give value, you fill that gap and people pay you for it. So if the gap is being filled up by so many other people, why then should I come to you? That is why we all talk about value proposition and your unique selling proposition or your unique selling point. What is unique about your business? You must identify it. There's nothing new under the sun, but usually it's the way you now add one or two things together, but it must be authentic. It must be authentically you. So when we were starting Meadowhall, I realized that everybody, there was British school, there was Nigerian school, there was, so the value proposition that we then brought was, you know what? We knew our target market, professionals, right? A lot of them had lived abroad and all. They wanted the British curriculum, but then, you know, in Nigeria, we're very spiritual. So they wanted that British curriculum, but with spirituality. And they also wanted a bit of our culture. They wanted to come to the schools and have people greet. They wanted their children to know about the Vikings and all the whatever we study in history in the UK, but they wanted them to know about Awolowo and Olufunmilayo and Ransom Kuti. So we were able to come up with something that was, we call it an integration. We call it a delicate integration of the British, the strength of the Nigerian, whole British curriculum. Our children will leave Meadowhall and fit directly into either government or independent school in the UK. It is the full British curriculum. But then with the strength of the Nigerian in terms of, you know, maybe some of our content, and then with spiritual development of the children. That became our uniqueness. So you need to find what your own USP is, your unique selling proposition or your unique selling point, USP, and your value proposition. That is how you start a business. Once you have all that, part of strategy is your finance. How am I going to raise money? It is succession planning. How am I, whoever I'm employing now, will this person fit into my company in 5 years' time? Maybe if I'm not there, this shop girl that I employed, would she be able to run the business when I'm not there? All those things is part of strategic thinking. Then you are now, you know, of course, you need to incorporate your company. You need to look for a catchy name. I told you people, all those names, Orisha Crest, all these names that we say because we are godly, you know, we are spiritual people. So Orisha Crest School, all these things. I'm sorry, I hope Orisha Crest is not here, but I'm also advising you, ma. If you are here, I'd suggest that we change such names, you know, in the 21st century. A lot of us love those adding my children's name, you know, Emekoge memes. You carry the two first names and you say you have a brand. So be careful of the name. You name your company, do your legal, they'll do search for the name and everything. Incorporate your company, do a market research. In the past, I had done some businesses. I didn't do market research. By the time I learned from that, this time I did market research. I sent questionnaires to people. Why would you patronize the new school? What are you looking for in a new school? I did it. Do a market research. So that is how location. Anywhere you study about location, the tell you it's called 3 times. A lot of us situate schools and businesses in the village. I almost did it too. When I started my temporary site, the neighbor said I must leave the place. One woman beside me said she will fight me with everything she's got. I was so desperate. And my driver now showed me somewhere in the village, somewhere. So I was like, okay, if my school is good, people will come. Thank God for my husband. The day I said, let's go and look at the place, we were driving. He said, this is where you want to go and situate a school. He just turned back and went back. That was how God saved me from situating my school where nobody would have found me. Those days of if you are good, your product is good, people will come. Those days are gone. In the days of social media, I can buy anything online. I will not follow you to the village. Your location matters. Those are the things you must look at in starting a business. Now, in structuring your business so that it continues to grow, so that because they're linked. I told you, when you're structuring your business, there's the strategic planning. It starts with that. Then we will look at things like what we call operational processes. What are the operations? You are looking definitely at things like your marketing. Marketing is not flyer. Marketing is selling your story. It is selling an experience. When Apple advertises, you do not see Apple say, buy Apple. Okay, no problem. Princess, there was a place, buy Apple. This is the Apple. No, the adverts will be showing you maybe somebody using an iWatch and is counting steps, or a phone that is monitoring that can monitor something or the other. You sell experiences. So your operational processes is how you market. I've talked about branding. How do you develop your company? First of all, yourself and your company to be a brand. Quality assurance, customer care. What is your HR setup? Your technology. How do you want to scale? All those things are under operational processes. Then we talk about organizational design. Organizational design will talk about things like your hierarchy in the company, your organogram. People get everything mixed up. People are doing each other's jobs. Everything is messed up. Your organogram, even if you're a two-man company, 2 people report to this or whatever, you must have those things. Your organogram, roles and responsibilities, job descriptions, well spelled. You are developing your leadership, financial management. How do you manage funds? Your standard operating procedures. This is not for big companies. I hope people are not. If you start your small shop, if I have a shop where I sell clothes, what are your standard operating procedures? Which means, what time do you open? When you open, what is the next thing they do? Do they check the dumb, what do you call it, the display? Do they clean, dust? All those things must be broken down. Why? Because that's the only way you can have repeatable, what all your processes are they're replicable. So one shop girl goes, everything is there. You just train them on those things. So all those things are called organizational design. And then, of course, we also talk about personal growth for the owner. I would always look at that. All the competencies you need to learn, not least things like personal growth, like resilience, and so many other things. All right, go ahead. Princess, we gotta go.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. Yeah, so we have like a couple of, maybe we'll just take 3 more questions.
Okay.
So I'll take one on career transitioning, one on networking, and yeah, okay, we'll just see how we're going to that. Okay, so the career transition question, how do you
you can tell Uche she can start ABL. I'll join when I'm ready. I don't want to leave people without answering most questions. Okay, they can start. I'll join them later. But ask your question and you can get in touch with them. Please go ahead.
So the questions on career transitioning, it says, how do you change careers and thrive? What are the effective steps to break into a new industry as an entrepreneur? And then the last one is how to bounce.
Okay, go on.
The last one is how to bounce back on the career train after consecutive involuntary breaks in between.
Okay, I'm not quite sure I understand that, but that transitioning, I think I have already answered that. How do you change or go into another career? I thought I'd answered that. Haven't I? I have. I told you, first of all, be sure God called you. I talked about knowledge, seek knowledge about the new career that you want to go into. Go back to study about it once you are sure it's what you want to do. I talked about volunteering, where you can gain more experience and be sure that's what you want to do. And then start small. I think I'd mentioned that. That's exactly what I did. So it's experiential, not theory. So
yes,
what was the other one?
Actually ties into the finding purpose questions, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
I think one, what are the effective steps to break into a new industry as an entrepreneur? It's kind of is the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So you're in an industry, you want to become an entrepreneur. That's what I did. I was a lawyer working for people. So I was in an industry working for someone, and then I wanted to become an entrepreneur. That's exactly what I did. I first of all made sure that God was asking me to go into that. So first of all, I was working for someone, then I started my own law firm, very small law firm. And then I, went on a bigger scale of entrepreneurship. And that's how I did. I was sure that I was sent to that because I didn't want to do failure upon failure upon failure. And I did all those things in order to transition. Yeah.
So I think the question is about if an entrepreneur wants to change their sector from maybe hospitality to education.
It is still the same answer, Princess, my darling.
Okay.
It's the same answer. I said, prayer. Are you sure God is asking you to change from law to hospitality? It is first of all, be sure that the person who created you has asked you to change. Thereafter, what do? Seek more knowledge about hospitality. Be sure, because some things look glamorous, or you have friends who are making a lot of money from it, and you assume that, okay, me too, I'm going into it. Seek knowledge. Go on YouTube. Go and do online courses. Find out more. Talk to people who are in hospitality. Be sure. If it is something that you feel you want to do, you can even go then and volunteer. You can say to Eco Hotel, don't pay me. Can I come? Volunteer. Then I'm also saying study about it. Go and do some courses. You can even then go and do a professional course, certification course on hospitality. And that's it. And then start small. That's it. So any career that you're doing from whatever it is, that is how I would go about it. I like to see in the chat that people understand that. I think it's very straightforward.
Yes, my it is.
It is what you need, though, that I have not talked about, is that self-doubt and panic. I used to have panic attacks. I was going, and then, of course, a lot of people were telling me, you can't do it. Why should a lawyer say she's coming into education? A lot of negative voices. So you need to deal with yourself. You need to know, has God sent you? You need that support network who believe in you, who can say, don't worry, I believe in you, you can do it. So those panic attacks are real, because you are going from the known to the unknown. They are real. But it was in the preparation. I went for lots and lots of courses before I even registered for qualification courses. I started going for trainings. I'll be the only school owner there. I'll be going for trainings, because the more you do it, when you start studying about it, you are building your confidence in it. You can begin to, know that, okay, I'm not only am I interested, I understand this thing. And so it's also working on yourself when you are changing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Any other thing?
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I couldn't for a while. Why are you
Okay.
not showing your
So
face?
the next question. Sorry about that. Okay, yes. The next question is on networking.
Yeah, okay.
And that's
yeah, okay.
How can I break out from introvertedness and push business visibility without being all over the place?
Yeah.
I know you had talked about this in your presentation as well.
So you see, networking is something I would admit to you guys, I struggled with for a long time. Being an introvert, just like that person. I was quite introverted. I thought it was very okay to be by myself. I'm doing my work. I'm working hard. God is with me. And, but I learned it late. So, and I want you to learn from my mistakes. No man is an island. I wish more churches will focus on things like that. Kudos to Apostle Joshua Selman. He's always talking about it. You need people. A lot of us that gave our lives years ago, I'm talking about 1990, we were just love God, and you just about loving God. You love God, you need people. So networking is key. Ibuka Woshika will say this: who's your tribe? Everybody must have a tribe. Where's that network you belong to? because you do not know how somebody in your net, somebody's mic, you will not know how somebody that you know knows somebody who can help you. We need to prioritize. Oh, someone is distracting me. Please, can you mute? Can the person mute, please? You need to understand the importance of network. You need people. And there's so many, I have a whole training on networking. There's so many ways we network. And it's done intentionally. Attend conferences in your industry, be out there. And when you're going there, try and know who is going to be there that you want to meet. I told you when I had a program at once, I needed to meet with this ex-minister. So I knew she was going to be there. So I prepared a letter. So make sure you have your cards. It's like strategizing. You know who is going to be there, who you want to meet. If you don't know anything about it, a lot of us will go to network. We're going somewhere. We have no cards. And you're going to say, oh, but my office did not give me cards. Have you not heard of e-cards? This Blink, I have one. They're e-cards. It's you, and you just send it to them. Be prepared. Be prepared with a pitch, something that is catchy, that immediately you introduce, oh, I'm Dr. Wani. You catch their attention. It's all those things are rehearsed. Oh, God. I remember, I'm looking at the lessons that I've learned from. I went for one program once. I thought it was humility. So they'll say, who are you? I'll now say, I'm Dr. Wani, and I'll say a few things and sit down. Humble. By the time people were done at that program, when they were selling themselves, I'm like, Jesus, God. I wasted this opportunity like this. Since then, I have a pitch ready for anybody I'm meeting to introduce myself. That's how you network. You then ask, this is what you do. You try and see. You let them talk. When you're networking, listen. Listen more than you talk. Because as they are talking, you will see where that gap is that you can say, yeah, I actually do that. It would be nice to have tea with you. Let's go for drinks. Now, we also have this thing that we call, what do I call it now, Princess? Online. You can have a tea, whatever, online, where,
Online coffee meetup.
Online coffee meetup, me and my coffee. And, online coffee meetup. You do that. And again, I don't have more time now, but there is networking even for introverts. Some of us can go to a program and you feel lost. Sometimes it is just, we call it networking for introverts. It is those soft, we call them warm introductions. So there's cold introduction where you go somewhere and you introduce yourself and but there's also the warm introduction. That is what a lot of introverts do, where a friend introduces them to another and another like that, and you call them one-on-one instead of going to a large event. Networking, there's absolutely no way around it. Even the Bible says, no man is an island. It is not good for man to be alone. Get a tribe. Thank you. We will take just 2 more. I think we've used like 2 hours now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
We'll
we
just
have.
take 2 more questions.
Yes, we have just 2 more questions actually. So the first one is, how can young women thrive in a patriarchal society and reach their goals? And then the second question would be, can this program lead to further collaborations on leadership or collaborations or leadership opportunities?
Okay, so that last one, collaborations, I think I'll leave you to answer that because you work with me on it. But that's how can young men thrive in a patriarchal society and all that, you see?
Society. Sorry, ma, there's also another question that might be tied to that. Handling gender intimidation. How do you handle gender intimidation at the workplace? So yes, we can tie those two together.
Okay, so intimidation. Those things are real. I believe they are real. I know a lot of people might not like this answer, but they're real. But one thing in my own journey, I have tried to do is not to focus on what I cannot change. You know, I can't change men from thinking the way they do. Auntie Ade, lovely to see you.
Hello, good evening. I'm sorry, my watch was running a few minutes late.
Is this ABL meeting? So they're
Yeah.
joining. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is another one, but I guess we're using the same link, but we're rounding
It's the
up.
same link. Shall I rejoin in
No,
5
no,
minutes?
it's not the same link. It's not the same
Oh, it's
link.
not the same link. Okay, it's
It's
another
not
link.
okay.
I'll in the wrong meeting.
Let me leave out. Let me leave. Sorry.
So that's right. So gentle. So I really, honestly, that's the way I cope with certain things. I really try not to focus on what I cannot change. I cannot be in men's thinking. Where do I want to start? I don't know if anybody has experienced this. You are there, well dressed, you and your husband in a car. As you are driving somewhere, the gates, the people go, yeah, hello, sir, hello, sir. It's like the woman does not exist in the car. I'm like, is it not two people you guys are seeing? We're in that kind of society where it's really more about the men. So I focus on giving everything I've got. Sometimes we need to do a bit more than the men to be taken seriously. That's what I do. I work with excellence so that my delivery, my output is not questionable. I don't follow, you know, where the men, they will not. I give it my best shot. Now, I am someone who speaks up. I will speak up if I feel that you have not, there should be appraisals. When you do appraisals, I can speak up. I can, to my appraiser, say that I feel overlooked. And you always have your records. We always say have your portfolios. When you do any course to improve yourself, have a record, send it to HR. Develop yourself. Do everything. When you have your appraisal, sell yourself. These are the things I've done. And if you feel you're being treated unfairly, talk about it. It is how you go about it. You're not going to be combative about it, but talk to HR, talk to your heads. But above all, just you be excellent at what you do. And prayerfully, God grants people favor. That's what I would say. I focus more on what I can do to thrive in my expertise, my delivery, you know, in the workplace. Do you know what, as an employer of labor, what attracts me more than any other thing in life is going over and beyond. When you go over and beyond, but most people want to do what they've been employed to do and they think they have worked very hard. It's very annoying. I said to them, okay, so what are you paid for? They say, you know, I work hard, you know, and what have you, so what do you think the money is a gift? That's what you're paid for. But when you go over and beyond, you know, people who they know they have to do something, they stay behind, they do it, you can reach them here, you can do that, they stand out to you. You continue doing that as a woman with God's favor in your life. And you also, you know, speaking up where you feel overlooked and see if you'll not be pro. And if after you've done all that, and they're so biased towards the men in the company, it might not be. You see, when you're in a company where values don't align, don't stay there for too long. Values must align. If you get someone, they say cheat, you will not stay there for too long because your values don't align. Values must align. So if I do everything, try my best, go above and beyond what is expected of me, communicate to them that I don't feel fairly treated, and my value, you don't recognize what I bring to the table, I will leave and I'll seek where my services will be appreciated. That's what I would say concerning that question. All right.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma.
Okay. Any pressing?
Probably go to the last question on collaborations. I think someone had their hands raised up earlier. Rosemary,
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
not
Rose
sure if
Gems.
you see
Rose
that hand.
Gems. I think there's Rose Gems.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wani, for the insightful session. Thank you so much. We appreciate. So my question has to do with what you mentioned about validating yourself, your authenticity, introducing yourself. So I had a similar situation, and it has really kind of affected me so much, dampened my morale. So I was in a meeting, yeah. So our manager came to talk to us on something. He doesn't work with us, so there's a way our company is. So he came in, so I needed to talk. So at some point, he needed to know who, he asked me to introduce myself. So I introduced myself as Dr. Sandra. Yes. So after the meeting, I was told by my line heads that I shouldn't have introduced myself like that. So
is it the doctor they're angry with, or which
yes,
one?
so that like, well, so it went round. Oh, we thought she's humble. We thought she's humble. You know, so I don't know who I am. I don't go about flaunting, you know, even the
Doctorate.
degree. I don't. But there were situations around the company, in terms of remuneration and all that. And yes, we also needed to we also have people who also, we shouldn't just be treating, you know, a couple of us kind of. That was actually from the point of view coming from, because if you have professionals, high performing professionals in your organization, you shouldn't also take it for granted, because such people can also, move. So that was kind of the background from which I, not to, create any, but I'm trying to give the impression that yes, the big teachers here are also not, they are not just pushovers, and they are not just, so, but that made me, sometimes I find it difficult bringing up something. So you spoke about it, and immediately I just raised up my hand to because I've always known that I don't think I did the wrong thing.
So you did not. Let me quickly speak to that. First of all, congratulations on your PhD. Do you know when I finished my PhD? Do you know what I said to people? There is professorship they should be giving us after PhD. That thing is so difficult. No, you know, Yorubas will say, "Ntoba kan lomo." This is the person involved that knows it. It is such a difficult thing. Honestly, after PhD, if I was the governor, I was the president of Nigeria, I would say it's PhD, it's professorship. When it is not honorary
It's not honorary degree.
Do you understand? In fact, Princess, just be put kind of one PhD now in my, because people will say, doctor, you don't know if it's honorary or the one that you worked for. Your PhD is not honorary. You hold yourself up high, head up high. People say it all that you read in the news. They say, oh, the people who like titles, they put doctor, especially if you're in education. Why not? That's why I did a PhD. What is wrong in it? I don't do chief, pastor, engineer, lawyer, but a PhD is a PhD. So I don't think you should be apologetic about that. I think you're making a statement, and I feel when you have the ears of your leaders, you should let them understand. You said something that's very key. A lot of organizations lose their best hands because they never really recognize them and what they bring to the table. And that's why I said, for those who are starting companies, even in your strategic planning, think succession, because you're able to identify your top hands on time, and you're able to, give them more, give them trainings, make them feel special so you do not lose them. I would say in a very cordial, professional way, have a chat with them. People will say, those things, it's like water off a duck's back. You shake it off. People would always say, it's the people who have not gone through PhDs that feel that those of us with PhD, we are making too much noise. Let them try it. It's not masters. Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Don't worry, my sister, Jare. Use your doctorate anywhere. You put PhD. In fact, some people will say doctor, whatever, PhD, choose one. But I just PhD. You earned it. Is not honorary. That shouldn't be a problem. Princess, there's something somebody said about what collaboration.
Yes, ma'am, there's a
But
charging
before you do
question.
that, somebody mentioned time management. I think it's very key. A lot of us don't know how to manage our time, and
Yes.
time management is all about prioritization. We do not know how to prioritize. There's something I teach all the time. Make lists, not just for the fact that you're making a list. After a while, you won't need to make lists anymore because you're used to it. But your lists, even in your list, you still prioritize the most important. So I would always start with what I need to do in a day, what I ought to do, what I want to do is in that arrangement. If I know I need to make a call to somebody that's been delayed that needs to go today, or I need to do some banking function to be your first on the list. And so you have a list, just not putting all the thoughts down for the day. It is prioritizing your priority list. You are prioritizing it because there's something called the Pareto principle. It says 20% of your production will give you 80% of your result. If I have 10 things on my list, if I do 20% of it, which is 2 out of the 10, because those 2 are the most important, it will give me 80% of the satisfaction of the result I need for that day. Prioritize. That's way how to manage time. Then don't be people. Some people procrastinate a lot. We will sit down because the thing is like, this is a lot. You sit down, watch Netflix, watch social media for 2 hours. Then you will now use the little time remaining. When do you spend for personal growth? Somebody mentioned something too. I remember that I put about developing the public speaking. Let me tell you, public speaking, they say, is worse than the fear of death for a lot of people. It is research that says it. People would rather die than have to speak publicly. How do you overcome it? I do it now. I hated it at the beginning. How do you do it? It is, first of all, work on your communication. Till today, with all my years of training, I have every night, because one of my goals for this quarter, it is to continue to develop my communication. I have some apps that I use. There's one called Elsa. I use it every day on pronunciation. I use another one for vocabulary. Develop yourself, because you can't have the flow and then you are mispronouncing every word. You are not eloquent. So work on your communication. Then you start small. You start small. Another thing that we do, when you start public speaking, record yourself. Maybe you do a small training. You can volunteer to do trainings for people. Once you do that small training, record it. I learned that somewhere. It says what you do first is when you play it back to listen to yourself. How do you sound? How many filler words did you use? Filler words are I mean, how often was that coming up? You note it. Then it is recommended that you take away the voice. Take away the voice and listen without the voice. You would see how much, like me now, I gesticulate a lot. When I'm watching, I'll see, one day I'm like, Kenny. So even as I was talking to the son, I'm like, try to do this. So it is practice, practice, practice. Okay, I think I've covered even the things that I hope we're good.
Yes, ma'am, there's one last question, or rather 2 questions in the chat.
Anna,
the question.
How do you market your business?
Before we get to,
okay,
yes,
go on.
that's one of the questions. Yes, that's actually one of the questions.
Go. How are you? Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, ma, can you hear me?
Greeting a friend. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I was greeting somebody.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was saying that there was one question of how do you break free from, or how do I break free from charging too low for my services? That's one question that we want to cover. And then the other one in the chat about marketing, about how do you market your business in an industry that's so saturated. So those are the 2 questions that we have before we then reach out, or rather before we Anna has her hand raised. So before we take that,
let me quickly start.
Yes.
Yeah, charging too low is very tricky. A lot of us, because we didn't get our business model right, a lot of us have set up businesses where the people who are there cannot afford our services. So a lot of us have set up businesses, and in mind, it's like you have a business, but you are running it like an NGO, because a lot of us are maybe pastors, pastors' wives, and we've set up businesses. So the mind is the mind of a pastor. Meanwhile, a business is a business. So all those things. So your business model, I think you need to go right back. If you're charging too low, why? Go back to your business model. A business model simply is, how do you intend to make money? That's what a business model is about. This business, how will it make money? So you need to identify your target, and all that. So if you're already charging too low, I started that way, unfortunately, and it plagued me, because you want to get people. And also, if you ever have loans, you're afraid to increase because you need the people. So there is a balancing act. But what I would say is, continue to offer high quality standards. Let your standards be superior. It's like giving much more to people. It gets them hooked. Because when people say, I'm even leaving, I'm going, what rubbish, they will go. Guess what? Within 6 months, they're back. Because they realize that, oh, that is what's been going on, that this person has actually been giving us much more. So I would say, if you're already charging too low, continue to, in those things that are not financial, let's say in your delivery, or if you run a school, your delivery of excellent, quality, like your curriculum, the way your teaching is, pedagogy and all that, make it excellent. Have people who you train. If there's no money, do the training. We in-house, get people from, that means you also high quality people, and you yourself, you know your stuff. Do trainings. Let them deliver something excellent. Let students' progress be obvious, be unquestionable. Exams, unfortunately, most of the time, is the way that people can assess how good, even though learning is much more than exams. Make sure that not only are they good, they're doing well, they understand, they're thinking critically and all that, but they also do well in exams. When you continue on that, then you begin to increase gradually, until you catch up to, but you see, people would already be hooked on the excellence that you deliver. It's usually quite difficult when you started low. I experienced it too. Today, I don't think I'm rightly priced in terms of the other schools that we benchmark ourselves against. We do much more, much more. So I'm doing it gradually. But like I said, some people say they're going, some people will come, and then eventually they'll come back. One thing that will always keep you in business is the excellence of what you offer. If you have good standards, superior standard, you can never go out of business. Never mind that some people will go, others will come. Some of those who went will come back. So that's what I would say regarding that. What was the next thing?
How do you market your business in an already saturated sector?
So there's a saying in Yoruba, the sky is big enough for everybody. But as I've said to you, marketing is about strategy. A lot of us want to market by saying, whatever it is, you put flyers up. When you really want to stand out, it is in selling your story. It is in selling the experience that people, what they would experience if they come to your business. So use social media a lot. Use social media wherever your clients are. Will most of them be on TikTok? Use TikTok. Will most of them be on IG? Use IG, Facebook, LinkedIn. Your website. When people find you on IG, the next thing they do is go to your website. A lot of websites, I say this with my full chest, is rubbish. People do not look at their website. They do not update their website. So your social media, your website, very important. One-on-one, whatever the business you're doing, a lot of things is one-on-one. You know what, like one-on-one, people talking about your business to the next person, It is a good way to market. and that means customer care. It means customer experience. When people come to your business, how are they received by the person that you put at front desk? Oh God, a lot of things are not done. Customer care, but your reception, yeah. On the phone, please, I'm waiting. How do I feel from the gate to my business? You train everybody. Customer care, word of mouth, social media, website, and all those things, But the greatest thing that sells you, it is the quality. It is the quality of your product. That is your first customer care. It is the quality. So no matter how saturated the business is, it is the quality. Over here, my second son started a business recently, and it's to do with car rentals. And there are a lot of car rental companies. But do you know how he continues to get business? Personalized service. We do things like every car that goes out is not done. With most people, he'll put a dustbin bag in the car. He puts the fragrance in the car. Business cards saying thank you. Little things like that. Meanwhile, everybody is running car companies. But because of those details, he gets repeat renters. So you must understand how can it all ties back to your unique selling point. For him in that company, the unique selling point is personalized service with customer care. So you do it because we've done enough research to know what can stand us out. That is it. So how do you stand out in a saturated market? I'm sure that your uniqueness, you remember that uniqueness you identified that made you unique, you will carry it out and then let everybody know about it. I hope that answers that question.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So I think I'm not sure if Anna is still here to ask her question.
I'm
I can see
happy
her
to.
hand.
I love people to have their answers. So anybody that wants to log off can log off. I'm happy to answer any question that's still left, and I will join. I know ABL will be angry with me, but there are other mentors there. Any other questions?
Okay. Anna, are you here? If you're here, please unmute. Oh, okay. She said it's about charging. It has been answered. Okay, all right. Okay,
fantastic. Okay.
So I think there's someone sent me a direct message asking for suggestions of schools in Nigeria that they can volunteer as a math teacher. That they got an offer in the UK, and they're looking for opportunities to volunteer to improve their confidence.
So I'm going to say go on LinkedIn. Sorry, go on
Okay.
LinkedIn. Every day in my DM, people would ask, can I volunteer? Of course, I'm not taking everybody. Sometimes I just refer them to my EA Princess to discuss. It might be that there's a vacancy because you see, again, I can't just bring anybody to come and volunteer. Do our values align? If I bring the person and the person is a child molester, and I just bring, there's safeguarding and child protection in schools. So it will take time, but yes, you can volunteer, find people. That's part of networking. You continue to talk to this one, talk to this one. One day you'll find somebody that says, you know what, come,
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. So this is we're rounding up in the next 10 minutes. But before we go, if we have any questions, if anybody has any questions, please raise your hands so that we can just take that before we go to the collaboration for leadership and training. You want to connect with Dr. Wane, you're writing a book and you want her to feature in it. Okay, Ma. Someone wants to feature in a book.
Such research can come to you and we will look at it. There must be an alignment, right? If you are writing a book now on how to whatever, maybe get somebody else's husband, I cannot be part of it. And I'm just joking. Whoever that person is, I know that won't be your book. But I'm just saying that also time and a lot of other things. But Princess, our amazing compare, just maybe she puts a number. She was the one that will sift through all those things and see if I have the time now. It can be some other time later. You're doing something else. All right. Okay.
Okay. So I've put in the chat an email if anybody wants to have to send any questions. No, not questions, any requests. So then we'll look through and get back to you. If there are no other questions, so count down 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
2.
I got to
Okay,
go
so
to the next
let me
meeting.
see. Yes, let me see in our chat appreciations. Thanking Dr. Wani for this. It's over 2 hours. Please let the drum rolls. Let the drum rolls begin to come in. Let the claps, let the flowers. I'm waiting. Someone should be rolling out the red carpet right now. Do I have a confetti? Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Ababise, for the dancing steps. I love it. Oh, thank you. Oh, so kisses and flowers. Oh, thank you so much. I'm expecting more. She has really poured into these events like this. I saw in the I saw someone put in the chat that this is such a rare opportunity where someone actually shares their own personal life experience without holding anything back. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. We pray that God continues to lift you and then strengthen you as well. So just to answer the last question with regards to collaboration for other leadership trainings and events, please, Dr. Wani we have a lot of, or rather, Dr. Wani is running a lot of trainings right now. If you go to her LinkedIn, it's on LinkedIn actually, and on her Instagram page, yes, you would see that she's currently running about 3 courses at the moment. We have one for structuring your business for success. Now, this is for business owners, business leaders, if you're a senior manager, in your organization. This is a training that you really want to, invest in. It's a one-on-one mentorship that just allows you speak with Dr. Wani, you share your specific challenges, and then she provides tailored answers, tailored responses, tailored knowledge, tailored insights, tailored guidelines, to help you in scaling up, re-strategizing, and every other thing that you need to work on in your business. She also has one for school owners, having built Meadow Hall to what it is now, and LPSs as well. You can tell that there is a track record, and then she has a wealth of knowledge that you also want to tap into for those who are business school owners, those who are aspiring, to be school owners. You can also reach out to get what you want. We have tailored services as well, or tailored trainings as well for that. And then the last but not the least, we also have one on succession planning. If you've been here since the beginning, you would have heard Dr. Wani mention not once, not twice, of how she has built a team that is currently running most of her companies, and then it's running smoothly, even in her absence, so to speak. That is physically, right? And then, there are leaders that have been put into place that have been groomed, with specific training, the technological part, the strategical part, the operations part, all of that. That is a training that you also want to take advantage of. And then if you have people as well that you're grooming, in your organization, this is also a training that you want to invest in for them, so that you are sure that you're putting the right person to take charge of your business as you look forward to succession planning and business continuity. We also have
in key positions, not just founder.
Yes, ma, in key positions. So I mean, I'm sure we know what the key positions are, but just maybe your CEO, COO, general managers, maybe next head of HR.
Okay, Princess, bye.
Bye. Okay, ma. Bye, ma. Thank you so much, ma. And then we also will be having some John Maxwell leadership training that will be coming up later in the year. The flyers will be up shortly. Thank you so much, everyone that has joined. There are informations also on the flyers and on her social media page if you need to get more information on these trainings and then how to be a partaker of it. Thank you so much once again, everyone. for joining and staying up until this time. I hope we have learned. There's a feedback form in the chat. Please let's fill it, share our feedbacks. So that more people get to know about this. You can also go to your YouTube or your social media pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, and just talk about this training, what you've learned. You can always tag Dr. Kende as well. On IG, it's at Kende Wani. On LinkedIn, it's Dr. Kende Wani as well. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining. Do enjoy the rest of your month and have a blessed 2025.